What happens when your rival starts using your signature catchphrase to celebrate beating you? Why did McLaren's CEO deliberately echo Max Verstappen's iconic words during their championship celebrations? And how did two simple words become the unexpected symbol of Formula One's shifting power dynamics in 2024? Max Verstappen's "Simply Lovely" was supposed to be his trademark, a phrase that became synonymous with his dominance and Red Bull's unstoppable march to victory. But something extraordinary happened during the 2024 season that turned this personal brand into Formula One's most intriguing psychological battle. Let's start with what we know. According to the provided research, Max Verstappen popularized "Simply Lovely" as his signature reaction to pole positions and Grand Prix victories. The phrase became so associated with his success that it was featured in his merchandise line, symbolizing his relaxed yet confident approach to racing excellence. But the 2024 Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort changed everything. Lando Norris didn't just beat Verstappen at his home race, he won by a commanding 23-second margin and then delivered the ultimate psychological blow. As Norris crossed the finish line, he used Verstappen's own phrase over the team radio, saying "Simply Lovely" to celebrate his dominant victory. When Sky Sports interviewed Norris about this moment, he explained that the phrase just popped into my head during the win. He clarified that his use was meant playfully and respectfully, not as provocation. But the damage was done. Verstappen's signature celebration had been used against him on his own home soil. The pattern didn't stop there. During the 2024 season climax in the United Arab Emirates, Zak Brown, McLaren's CEO, deliberately echoed Verstappen's iconic phrase during celebrations with Lando Norris over the team radio. This wasn't accidental. This was strategic psychological warfare disguised as tribute. At first glance, this might seem like harmless fun rivals playfully borrowing each other's catchphrases in the spirit of competition. The research suggests that Verstappen's influence on his peers shows how deeply his personality resonates within the paddock, and that "Simply Lovely" has transcended usual team radio jargon to become a symbol of charm and positivity. But here's where the story gets complicated. While Verstappen was collecting his fourth World Championship title in 2024, McLaren was quietly building something more significant. The dynamic duo of Norris and Oscar Piastri didn't just win individual races, they captured the Constructors' Championship, edging out Ferrari after what the research describes as a fiercely competitive season. But the real question isn't why McLaren started using Verstappen's phrase, it's what this reveals about the psychological shift happening in Formula One's power structure. Here's what the data tells us about McLaren's calculated approach. The research documents that recent races have demonstrated McLaren's speed and tactical acumen through dominant performances and strategic mastery in mixed weather conditions. Take the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, where Norris triumphed in the rain, capitalizing on his McLaren's pace and small mistakes from Verstappen to secure a home victory. Then came Spa-Francorchamps, run under heavy rain delays, where Oscar Piastri made bold moves to take the lead, while Charles Leclerc and Verstappen fought for podium positions. The pattern was clear. McLaren wasn't just fast, they were strategically superior. The timing of when McLaren started using "Simply Lovely" becomes significant when you realize it coincided with their championship winning form. According to the research, the phrase has been embraced by fans, teammates, rivals, and team management. But McLaren's adoption was different. It was systematic and celebratory of victories against Verstappen himself. What makes this even more intriguing is how the research describes Verstappen's phrase as having transcended the usual team radio jargon to become a symbol of charm and positivity amidst the intense pressures of F1 racing. McLaren essentially co-opted Verstappen's brand of confidence and made it their own victory anthem. The implications go beyond mere psychology. The research indicates that the 2025 season has already seen surprising innovations due to new technical regulations forcing teams to redesign their cars, leading to closer competition and unpredictable results. In this environment, mental warfare becomes just as crucial as aerodynamic efficiency. As we approach the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, described in the research as the season's penultimate round, the stakes couldn't be higher. The research notes that all eyes are on Verstappen and whether he can reclaim the home victory that eluded him last year. But here's the twist. Weather conditions are expected to play a massive role. According to the early FIA weather report mentioned in the research, the weekend has over 80% chance of rain during practice sessions, qualifying, and the race itself, with temperatures hovering around 16 to 20 degrees Celsius and variable winds adding to the challenge. This is exactly the kind of conditions where McLaren has shown their strategic mastery in mixed weather conditions. The research specifically highlights how McLaren's tactical acumen has been demonstrated in similar scenarios, while Verstappen faces what's described as stiff challenges, despite his mental resilience making him a perennial favorite. The research reveals that Formula One is in a state of evolution, with Verstappen's legacy continuing to grow as he inspires the next generation of drivers and supporters alike. But the central question remains unanswered. Has McLaren's psychological appropriation of simply lovely fundamentally altered the dynamic between these championship contenders? What happens when the phrase that once symbolized Verstappen's dominance becomes the soundtrack to McLaren's victories? The research describes the current season as having several more races to go, with fierce competition, technical challenges, and the ever unpredictable thrill of Formula One racing still ahead. As fans and teams anticipate another dramatic Dutch Grand Prix weekend, the weather forecast suggests conditions that could favor strategic brilliance over raw speed. The research emphasizes that strategy and adaptability will play key roles in shaping the race, exactly McLaren's demonstrated strengths. Will Verstappen reclaim his phrase along with his home victory? Or has Simply Lovely permanently evolved from a personal trademark into Formula One's ultimate symbol of changing fortunes? Let me know in the comments. Do you think McLaren's use of Verstappen's phrase is brilliant psychological warfare or just harmless fun? And what other driver catchphrases do you think might get adopted by rivals? The next few races will tell us everything we need to know about this fascinating power shift in Formula One.